Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back for another installment of Scott's Selections here for Thursday, February 6th. Before we get into today's play of the day, a quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up picking up a tough loss with the Phoenix Suns -3, which was available on FanDuel at -110. Phoenix offensively looked like they did everything they needed to do in order to cover. They shot over 61% in the first half, still trailed by 3. They shot over 54% from the floor throughout pretty much the entire game. Still lost outright by, I believe it was 8 or something. Overall, the main issue was defense, as Phoenix forced roughly 2 turnovers through the first 41 minutes of the game. Not really sure how that's possible, considering the fact that Detroit was using their backup point guard. Drummond was great. Jackson was okay. He made a couple big shots down the stretch. Wood was pretty good. But overall, it seemed like every time Phoenix cut the deficit to 1, tied the game, or even took like a 2 or 3 point lead, Detroit always had an answer, and Phoenix was simply unable to pull away late. Then in the fourth quarter, Phoenix had the game tied, and then Detroit went on a run late, and that pretty much killed their hopes of covering the spread. But we'll look to bounce back with an NBA play here on Thursday. Decent amount of games on the college card, but there's one play in particular that I like in the NBA, and based on the line movement, that's why we'll be giving it out. And it will be on the New Orleans Pelicans -4.5, which is available on FanDuel at -110. And the main reason why we're going to be giving that out is based on the fact that, first of all, market-wide, this line has been going up to 5. So you should see this line continue to climb. Interesting, though, that this line has made some movement as the Pelicans are just 10-15 on the road, and they have lost each of their last 2 games. But the Bulls have been playing some terrible basketball lately, as they have lost each of their last 3, and most of them by embarrassing fashion, as each game has been by 9 points or more, especially with both of the last 2 games coming by at least 15 points. Now, those were all on the road. They're going to be returning home, but Chicago's only 11-15 at home this season. Not great. But New Orleans just simply has more talent on the active roster, especially with the return of Zion Williamson. The starting lineup-wise, you have Lonzo Ball, Drew Holiday, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Derek Favors. And the Bulls have Satoransky, who's probable. You have Zach LaVine, who's solid. Probably he's a borderline snub from an all-star. But then you have Hutchinson, who's not that great, Thaddeus Young, and Cornette. And even from the bench and all the injuries that they're dealing with, Wendell Carter's going to be out, Otto Porter's going to be out, Chris Dunn's going to be out, Markkanen's going to be out, Arcidiacono's questionable, Gafford's questionable, Denzel Valentine's questionable. It's really just a ton of injuries Chicago's dealing with that are going to affect the depth on this team. New Orleans is completely healthy for the most part, and one thing that's worth keeping in mind, which I think does explain why this line has continued to climb, is because of the fact that Thaddeus Young and Denzel Valentine have both been involved in their own separate trade rumors, so there is the potential that both of them will not be playing because of the fact that they might be shipped before the 3 p.m. trade deadline, which could lead to a much shorter rotation for the Bulls in this game. But as a whole, I think if you just look at both teams, the Pelicans are just the more talented team. Despite losing to the Bucks by 12, they were pretty competitive in that game throughout. Houston, they were also somewhat competitive at. They ended up out-rebounding Houston by I believe, 20, and they still lost that game by 8. I think they'll dominate on the boards against the Bulls, similar to what we predicted against the Nets a couple of days ago. And I think you should be able to see the Pelicans win this game pretty easily. Chicago, I know that as a team, nobody really likes their coach whatsoever. With Boylan, he's just not that great. The roster is not great. And now they have a bunch of injury issues, and the Pelicans are coming into this game still fighting for a playoff spot. I just think this game will turn into a bit of a bloodbath. Do I think this game will be an absolute blowout? No. But I think the Pelicans should be able to win this game by at least 6 points. So the play today, once again, will be on the Pelicans -4.5, which is available on FanDuel at -4.5, and that line is available at -110 on FanDuel, and that will be the play of the day. Now, talking about some of the other leans on today's cards, I'll stick to the NBA quickly. I'm going to lean to Milwaukee -8.5. I know that spread seems high, but same logic as what happened with their last game against Miami. Philly just traded for a couple shooters in Glenn Robinson and Alec Burks. Still not familiar with the system. Still doesn't change the fact that Simmons and Embiid have looked awful together, and the fact that Brown I still don't think is a good coach. Milwaukee should come in, try to make a statement, and I think they will do so, win this game by double digits. Lean to the Bucks on that one. Other than that, lean to the Magic -2.5 against the Knicks. Knicks had a nice win on the road against the Cavaliers, but at the end of the day, it's the Cavaliers, and Orlando just has the better overall roster. Not really impressed by anything New York has. This game, I think, will be close based on the spread, but at the end of the day, I think this game should end up favoring the Magic, who are just a much better defensive team. Other than that, I know money continues to come in on the Lakers. Personally, I think the spread's a bit too high here. It's gone from 6.5 to 7.5, mostly because of the fact that they believe the Lakers will dominate on the boards because of the trading of Clint Capella. I think Chandler can see some minutes. You also have Harkenstein, which I believe is his name, but he still is pretty lengthy, and I think he could do a decent job filling in. Capella really wasn't that great with the Rockets. He was a very good rebounder, but other than that, didn't really bring much to the table. I think Houston will be okay. Covington is expected to play in this game, and he's a solid defender. I think this game will be close. I think the Lakers will win. I know the total has gone from 234 to roughly 237. I'd lean to the over on that one, but for me, I think that's just too many points. I think this game will be closer than people think. So lean to the Rockets plus the 8. Other than that, though, for college basketball, looking at today's card, couple of ranked teams playing, nothing really to write home about. Gonzaga's favored by 25 against Loyola Marymount. That sounds pretty par for the course. In terms of the card itself, though, I'm going to lean to Wichita State -5 against Cincinnati. Both teams aren't great offensively, but Wichita State's been really good at home this season, and they have the better offense in this game. This game will be close, but I think Wichita State has too many weapons, and I think Wichita State should win this game by at least 7. Lean to Wichita State on that one. Other than that, though, don't really like anything else on the betting card for college basketball today. So play that once again will be on the New Orleans Pelicans -4.5, which is available on FanDuel at -110. That's going to be the installment of Scott Selections here for Thursday, February 6th. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.